Oh, Mike, please.
A sane person should have a proud man from committing.
Should?
A sane, yeah, a sane person should save a proud man from committing a great mistake that will cause harm to many.
Yeah. Here, who is the proud man? Shringi. And there were also other boys playing with Shringi. Huh? They were all playing together in one place. But then, see in the purport what Prabhupada says here. The son of Shringi, the son of the Rishi, his eyes, red hot with anger, touched the water of the river Kaushika while speaking to his playmates and discharged the following thunderbolt of words. Prabhupada says in purport, the circumstances under which Maharaj Parikshit was cursed were simply childish, as it appears from this verse. Shringi was showing his impudency amongst his playmates, who were innocent. They were all innocent playmates, small boys. Any sane man would have prevented him from doing such great harm to all human society. By killing a king like Parikshit just to make a show of acquired Brahminical power, the inexperienced son of a Brahmana committed a great mistake. Here comes an important point. That if somebody is about to commit a great mistake, he is a fellow devotee, it is our duty to correct them. Although they may not like to be corrected. Like you know what Bhagavatam says, if somebody is blaspheming a superior, if he is your very thick friend, should you hear it or not? Yeah, but he is your good friend. If you go away from that place, he may feel that, hey, I am your friend, I am telling you, but how you are going away? Huh? Yeah, what would you do? What are the things that Shastra says one should do if somebody is blaspheming a devotee? Yeah. Argue with him and defeat him. Yeah. Who did that? Any example of this? When somebody was blasphemed, who argued and defeated? Nandi. You see, this fellow, Daksha Prajapati, when he was entering the court, he had his stages. And all the people's respect became diminished because he was a very great personality naturally, Daksha Prajapati. Everyone stood up and saluted him, except two people, Shiva and Brahma. And looking that Brahma is his father. Naturally, father is not expected to stand up and respect you. But Shiva is also a very great soul. He is a Paramahamsa. He is a pure devotee. Vaishnavanam Shambhu. If Daksha saw from that perspective, he would not have expected any respect from him. His sitting was appropriate. In fact, Shiva was sitting in trance, absorbed. He was not to be misunderstood like that. But then he saw Shiva as Damad, my son-in-law. I have given my daughter in marriage to Shiva. He is my son-in-law. My son-in-law means he is a kid. He has to stand up and respect me. He thought like that. And because he expected Amanina, he said, Amanina, don't expect respect. If you expect respect from anybody, you are surely going to offend somebody. You can take it for granted. If we expect respect, we will offend somebody. Because somebody will not respect us in this world. So he expected respect. And when Shiva didn't get up, then what happened? He spoke up very loudly in the assembly. He said, all of you listen to me attentively. I am going to tell you something, but not out of my envy, he said. Actually, he himself had a clue that what I am going to speak seems to be a little envious, but people should not plug their ears and run away. So I will put a foundation in the beginning. I am going to say something not out of envy, he said. And then he said, look at this personality, Shiva. He is only auspicious in name only. He said, why? Because he is wearing bhasma all over his body and he is living in the Shmashan Ghat and he is surrounded by ghosts and spirits and hobgoblins and all that. How can he be considered auspicious? And look at his eyes, they are like an owl. Look at my daughter's eyes, they are like a beautiful deer. But still, because this Parameshti told me to give my daughter in marriage to him, I gave. Like that he showed hand to Brahma. That was second offense. Parameshti means, the most superior personality. Because this Parameshti is like, sometimes when we criticize, we speak like that. Because this great personality told me to give my daughter in marriage, I gave. Actually, sometimes in marriage it happens. Like, like somebody says, like the mother says, the girl is good, and father also says good, but the grandmother, she says no, 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 I think this girl is not good, and sometimes in a family there are differences in opinion. And tomorrow when the girl comes to home, when there are problems, then the grandmother will say, I told you before only. You're saying that they will say like that. Similarly, now he is saying, this Parameshwari told me to give my daughter in marriage. I gave. And just see, actually Daksha was determined not to give his daughter in marriage to Shiva, but Brahma insisted. And now he is criticizing Brahma also. And when he spoke like that, many Vaishnavas, they plugged their ears, they ran away from that place. Because if a weak-hearted person hears blasphemy of a senior Vaishnava, he will lose his faith in that Vaishnava, and he will lose faith in devotional service also. Because sometimes we are weak-hearted. Our faith in superiors is not very strong. And if somebody criticizes that superior, then we may lose even the existing faith also. And we may give up the whole devotion service and go away. Like many people come to me and tell me, Prabhuji, bahar bhi yahi chalta hai, andar bhi yahi chalta hai, that there are problems outside, there are problems inside. Of course, I used to hear, but I would not just hear and keep quiet. I will always give them the answer. If somebody continuously tells you bad about another devotee, you should not hear. You should stop. And then you have to give an explanation about the good side of the devotee also. Like you see, once in Gaudiya Math, there were many brahmacharis, and there was one fellow who always would have quarrel with practically everybody. He was famous for having quarrel with everybody. And he was a cook. And he died. After he died, naturally in the ashram there was a talk going on. People are talking. At this fellow, he was doing this, he was doing that, always giving trouble and this and that. Everybody was speaking like that. And Bhaktivinoda Saraswati came there. See, Bhaktivinoda Saraswati is very shrewd Acharya. He understood what the fellows are talking amongst themselves. And he turned to them and said, and also all of you are aware that he used to wear a very clean dress. Neat dress he used to wear. Is it not? Then he asked, yes, Maharaj, and all of them admitted. And you see the tendency, that is the meaning of a very great devotee. Pure devotees, they don't find any fault at all. They can overlook the faults. You see? So, Bhaktivinoda Saraswati saw that one good quality, that he used to wear neat dress, clean dress, although he may be finding fault. So, he is already passed away. Why to unnecessarily propagate, negativity everywhere? So, what point I made just prior to this? Bhaktivinoda Saraswati story? Daksha's point, yeah. So, when we hear blasphemy, we should not continue to hear. In fact, whatever you have heard, you should go to superiors and clarify. Why is it like this? And people may say so many things. Like for example, every temple, every project, they may have some good and some bad also. Any place you go, everywhere there are problems and there is good also. And there may be very positive, very good people. There may be some bad people also. Because when you go for a big society like ISKCON and other things, So we have to see what is the brighter side of this place. How we can increase the good. And how can we eliminate the bad. How can I contribute to doing that? We should see. Otherwise people, sometimes generally you will find what people do. Like one fellow has a bad experience with one fellow in a particular project. And he will go and tell everybody this whole project is bad. How many of you have seen this kind of people? Correct? Yeah. Like our devotees went to Kumbh Mela. They were all chanting, dancing. One fellow came and asked, you are all from ISKCON? Yes. No, I have been in ISKCON many years. I know there are so many problems. And then our devotees said, no, we are from Pune. We are all very happy. We are always chanting and dancing like this. Our life is very wonderful. You are all kids. मैं बड़ा दादाजी हूँ. मैं कितने सालों से, how many years I am there in ISKCON and I have left. And you guys are small kids, you don't know. Later on you will come to know. Instead of you coming to know later on, now only I will tell you all problems. And he started telling them problems. And some of our devotees became very weak. They were hearing like this. Yeah. Oh, like this, like that. Oh, like this. And all that they heard. And they came back completely like this. And they came back, Prabhuji, he's saying ISKCON is like this, ISKCON. Then I told them, do you have any of those experiences in Pune? Then they're, no, no, but in Pune we don't have experience. Then why are you worried? Huh? You know? So, sometimes, because that person has left the society, because he had a quarrel with somebody, some problem he had, and he is spreading negativity. So we should never associate with a negative person. We should keep a long distance from people who will induce negativity into our system. It's very dangerous. If somebody comes and tells me there is some problem in some temple, the first question I'll ask him, what are you doing, my dear friend, to rectify that fault? He will take a about turn and go away. Because he is not doing anything. That's what you should ask. What are you doing about it, my friend? And he will say, Nani, I cannot do anything. Because these are all things which big people will do. Okay, did you go and report to big people? He will say, no. Come, we both will go and report. Then he will tell you, no, I don't know, I'm not very sure, he will say. You know? You understand, no? So I am telling you, any sane man would have prevented him from doing such a great harm to all human society. You see? It's a duty of a sane man to stop a wrongdoer. Now give examples from Shastra. Who stopped whom from acting wrongly at a timely hour and saved that person from degradation? Yes? Kannada Prabhu? Yeah. Arjuna, in order to keep his vow, you know that, no? You know, he is supposed to kill whoever tells him to keep the Gandiva bow down. That time Arjuna didn't know. Maybe he thought, I have to kill Yudhishthira. Then Krishna stopped him and told him, you don't have to kill him. Instead, we can give him some curses, bad words you can give him, which is worse than death for the Kshatriya and all. Yeah, very good. So Krishna saved him from performing a foolish act. Yes, Lakshmanpu, and then who stopped? Very good. Dhruva Maharaj stopped Swayambhuva Manu from killing the Yakshas. Very good example. Timely aware. Exactly at the right time Dhruva Maharaj was stopped. If Swayambhuva Manu didn't come, Dhruva Maharaj's charitra would become inglorious. Because he was planning to wipe out the race of Yakshas fully, completely. Yeah, very dangerous. Yeah, he was thinking that this whole race I will wipe out. Then, in fact, Swayambhuva came and told him that Kubera is very angry with you. Just because one Yaksha killed your brother Uttama, you want to wipe out the whole race? What a foolish act you are doing. Become more sober. You are already a pure devotee of the Lord. You know, you achieved the blessings of Lord, now don't degrade yourself. This goes to show, like today morning Chandramali Swami was telling, even after one becomes very advanced, still he can commit mistakes. You should be very careful. He said now in the morning, even in prema stage one can commit offenses, he was telling. So only when you see Krishna face to face, then you will not commit any more offenses. He said, yeah? From? Narada Muni stopped Indra and other demigods from killing Kayadu's child who was Prahalad. Because he told them that there is a Mahabhagavad devotee inside. Very good. At the timely hour he stopped. Brilliant. Vasudeva stopped Kamsa from killing Devaki. Very brilliant examples. That's the point here. Any sane man would have prevented him from doing such a great harm to all human society. Which means you should not keep watching somebody committing a mistake and keep quiet, thinking that, why should I worry about it? Like in India, when somebody faces an accident in the road or some quarrel is going on, big crowd of people surround, but nobody will take action. You have seen this? It's a common sight. You'll find that. That is not appropriate behavior. In Mahabharata there is a pastime, once Prahalada's son Virochana, he and Sudanva Rishi, they both wanted to marry the same girl. They both were attracted to the same girl. And the girl said, you both are very noble, you both are very great, I am willing to marry either of you. But you both have to decide. And then they both discussed and they couldn't arrive at a solution. Then they said, let's have a war, and whoever wins the battle, they will marry her. So Sudanva and Virochana, they both had a battle. and in the battle Virochana was defeated. Now Sudanva Rishi wanted to marry the girl, but Virochana still wouldn't let him, despite being defeated in battle. Then Sudanva Rishi came to Prahalad, who was the father of Virochana. So he asked Prahalad in the court. Along with him, Virochana is on the other side, Sudanva Rishi is on this side, and Prahalad is sitting on the asana. He asked him, "My dear king, you tell me, I should marry the girl or he should marry? Now you tell me. I have won the battle." The Prahalad saw, he is my son. If I say no to him, he will feel unhappy. Then he looked at Sudanva Rishi, who is the winner of the battle. And Prahalad preferred to keep mum. He kept quiet. And then at that time, Sudanva Rishi told him that when you are in a leader's position and when you have to give justice for two parties who come to you, and you know who is the right party, who is the wrong party, because of not getting a bad name from the either of the party, if you keep mum, you will be sent to hell and bound by Varuna Pash for 1,000 years, and you'll be punished in hell. You'll be bound by Varuna Pash. Like that he says. So speak out, my dear king, he said. And then Prahalad said, "Okay, Sudanva, you should marry now." And then he got married after that. So this was quoted by Vidura. When Draupadi was disrobed in the public, in the assembly, Asat Sabha, at that time, Bhishma was keeping mum, Dhritarashtra was keeping mum, and Vidura asked, "Hey, how are you guys keeping mum? Speak out." Because if you don't speak in the justice, in the court, then you will suffer in hell for 1,000 years. He told them, because you are a leader. Similarly, all of us, we are in leadership position, for example, we will be faced with situations which people will bring us. And we have to tell a person, this is a mistake, this is not a mistake. This party is correct, this party is wrong. But we can tell politely, as politely as possible. But we have to tell the truth. We cannot hide the truth. Like he says here, you should not let people commit a big mistake. Generally what people think, if he commits a mistake, he will get the reaction, what about me? I will just close my eyes. Why should I earn my... How many of you have experienced that one of your fellow mates, he had some deficiency or weakness and you wanted to mention, but due to friendship, you were not confident enough to mention, so you left it. You understand what I am saying? Correct? Yeah. What if tomorrow the deficiency becomes too big and then it becomes incorrectable? It becomes irreversible. And in front of your eyes you see that personality falling down. Is it good? So if you want to save a person, what you should do? Either you correct or you tell your superiors. And then they will correct. But a timely action should be taken. Now what should the boys must have done, this innocent boys? "Hey Shingi, don't cut off your thread, sacred thread, because you are a Brahmana. If you give Brahma sharp, it's very dangerous. Wait a minute. Let's go to your father, and whatever your father says, we will do." That they should have done, which they didn't do. Let's say what heading we gave there? A sane person, read it again. Yeah. Please read this. Point 10. Yeah, Mike. Yeah, you have a question? Yeah, give the mic to Sujit Prabhu. Hey, put on the mic, please, for him. Yeah. When we hear blasphemy of a devotee, if we have sufficient knowledge, we can argue and defeat the blasphemer. That's one thing we could do. Another thing, if that person who is blaspheming is a superior or is a equal person, and we are not very confident of arguing with him properly, then we can give some excuse and leave that place and go away from that place. Yeah.
We may have sufficient knowledge to defeat the other person. So, but the other person is continuously blaspheming.
Yeah.
So we are also getting No, we are.
Yeah, along with your defeating, you are also inputting more and more blasphemy. Yeah.
In order to give my arguments, first I'm hearing from him. So, to what extent should one hear from
That's a
him?
very nice question. You see, some people have lost so much trust that their mouth is full of poison. So, best is not to take risk. You can tell him that, Prabhuji, don't bring it to me. If you really want clarification, go to somebody else, senior. And then you should not stop at that. You should go to the superiors and tell them that this person is constantly letting out blasphemy. He's not in a good shape. Because he is killing himself and he'll kill many more, Please save him. It's like poison, And you put information to the seniors and they will do the needful, whatever best can be done, And when we can give explanation, when a person is blaspheming a little and then he is willing to listen to you, and he has understood and then he is in a gradually changing mode, then only we can help him. Sometimes people blaspheme out of ignorance. And if they are willing to listen, then you may explain to them. Actually, our heart is soft towards Krishna and devotees, and we have to preserve that softness. By hearing blasphemy, our heart will become cunning and hard, and it won't be conducive for Krishna Prem to stay there. It will become like a broken pot. All the mercy will leak out. We cannot experience any juice in spiritual life by hearing blasphemy. I have been to many projects and temples worldwide while traveling. Those places where people hurt one another by hurling blasphemy and quarrel, and also people who talk behind the back about other devotees ill, such projects are running dry. There are hardly any devotees there. People come, become devotees, people leave and go, and nobody is happy also there. People are frustrated, and everyone's heart there is longing for love and shelter. On the other hand, you go around and see those temples where people are respecting one another. There is a trust in one another. There is love for other devotees. And even if they don't like some devotee, they will not blaspheme. They will say that, he is practicing and I am practicing. He is a nice devotee in his own way. I am a nice devotee, but they won't blaspheme other devotees. Actually, people should fear blaspheming other devotees. Even all of us have a loose tongue also. Sometime or other we judge devotees, we give comments about different devotees. If you are not careful, it can go to the zone of blasphemy. Be careful. Okay.
Roji, sometimes we know that the person who is blaspheming, he's at fault, and sometimes the person on the other end is little disturbed, and he's an upcoming devotee. And
how to reinstate faith in that person?
Roji, he may be coming to us because there is nobody else to speak to, and he's just removing. And if at that moment I just avoid him.
Oh, no. Those are the people to whom we can clarify. If somebody has heard something from somebody and they are disturbed, when they come to you and you are giving support to him by clarifying, that is the best thing you can do. Because they are innocent people actually. But the chronic criticizers and blasphemers are a different family. Yeah. Read this 10, number 10. Heading? Yeah, please.
Identify the root cause of failure of any system and set it right, rather than condemning and eliminating the system itself.
Yeah. This is the point we are going to learn in this purport. See the translation? Please read the translation.
The Brahmana's son cursed the king thus: on the seventh day from today, a snake bird will bite the most wretched one of that dynasty, Maharaj Parikshit, because of his having broken the laws of etiquette by insulting my father.
Yeah, read the purport, please.
Purport. Thus the beginning of the misuse of Brahmanical power began, and gradually the Brahmanas in the age of Kali became devoid of both Brahmanical powers and culture. The Brahmana boy considered Maharaj Parikshit.
See, Brahmanical power means, for example, if a Brahmana says something, that will happen surely, because it will be a Satyavak, If a Brahmana gives a curse, the curse will act. If a Brahmana gives good wishes, like Yashoda Maya taking Krishna in her hands, she is requesting Brahmanas to bless the child, because the Brahmanas are doing Swastirastu, Swasti Vachan, blessing upon the child. Naturally the child becomes very blessed and everything becomes auspicious. So both positive and negative Brahmana can do, because the Brahmanas never spoke lies, they always spoke the truth. They had such power. But in the Kali Yuga, because the Brahmanas have started misusing their Brahminical powers, so they are losing the Brahminical powers, and they are losing Brahminical culture also. Is saying. Go ahead.
The Brahmana boy considered Maharaj Parikshit to be Kulangara, or the wretched of the dynasty. But factually, the Brahmana boy himself was so, because only from him did Brahmana caste become powerless,
Only from Shringi, the Brahmana caste became powerless. Yeah.
like the snake whose poisoned teeth are broken. The snake is fearful as long as his poisoned teeth are there. Otherwise, he is fearful only to children. The personality of Kali conquered the Brahmana boy first, and gradually the other castes. Thus, the whole scientific system of the order.
See, the personality of Kali conquered the Brahmana boy first, and gradually the other castes. That means other castes, then Kshatriya, then Vaishya, then Shudra and all. Okay.
Thus, the whole scientific systems of the orders of society in this age has assumed the form of a
Vitiated
caste system, which is now being uprooted by another class of men, similarly influenced by the age of Kali.
See, he's saying three things. He's saying. First thing is saying the original Brahmana Kshatriya Vaishya system was a very good system, but who created a trouble in that system? Shringi Brahmana. He is the first fellow to misapply the Brahma Tejas, Brahma power and all. So because of that, Kali's influence, the system became degraded. And modern so-called leaders, what they want to do with this degraded system of Varnashrama? What they are trying to do? Eliminate it completely. They are trying to eliminate the whole thing. Just like Prabhupada says the example, like one boy got a cataract, everything was appearing tutu, So his father asked the uncle, what should we do? My, son is not able to see properly, Then uncle said, pluck out his eyes, Then he won't have the problem at all. So Buddhism is like that. Prabhupada says, Shunyavad. Pluck out, no senses, destroy the senses, like that. So, if there is a problem in the system, what should we do? We should rectify the problem in the system and continue with the system, rather than remove the system only. Like in all the ISKCON temples you go, they have this experience. First they will keep this, systems that prasadam will start at 1 o'clock, till 2 o'clock nobody can enter inside. If somebody has to go, they have to have coupon and all that. 40 rupees coupon you take and go. And then as the system is being applied, sometimes there are some flaws in the system. What? Somebody comes in and the coupon wala in the table, he went to pass water or something, and by the time he comes back, somebody took a plate and they are standing in the queue. Already they got a prasadam plate and that fellow comes running, hey Sasa, where is the coupon? He says, no, I don't have coupon, I don't have money or something. He says, no, you cannot eat now, he says. And there's a big problem, fight, quarrel, everything. And it goes up to the top president or somebody, and then the top authority says, oh, let us abolish the system of coupon, let us abolish the system of, not allowing people and all that, putting restriction and all, it creates so much problem. Let us be broad-minded, let us allow anybody and everybody for prasadam. Is that a wonderful system? Then what happens? 1 o'clock, you find there are 800 people instead of 200 people when you abolish the system. Is it not true? Then you cooked for 200 people, how are you going to serve 800 people? So abolishing system is not the solution for a defective system. The solution for a defective system is to create a defect-free system. That is the right system. For example, now husband and wife marry. It's a sacred vow. Sacred vow means, if you all read this Gruhya Sutra, we call it Gruhya Sutra. There's a book in which he says the husband is telling to wife. First I'll tell you what wife tells the husband. She says that, it's a Sanskrit verse, in English I'll tell you. She says, my dear husband, if you always protect me, if you provide for me, if you will take care of me, if you will love only me, and not become attracted to any other woman, and you will also share the financial expenditures with my consent in the family, and if you also will give me a position to sit next to you while performing yajna, sacrifices, religious activities, And you will also take me for yatras and pilgrimages whenever you go, and not travel alone without me. If you do all these things, then I agree to be your better half. I will be your wife, Ardhangini, and I will serve you. Like that, wife gives a promise to husband. Then husband, he speaks for his part. He says, if you promise me that you will not roam in the gardens with other men, no, and you will not leave home and go to the homes of other people who are unknown to us, and you promise me that you will be chaste to me alone, and if you promise me that you will serve your in-laws with love and devotion as you would serve me, like you should serve your mother-in-law, father-in-law, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, all of them, like this. And if you promise me that you will always be soft, tender and polite and kind-hearted in your dealings with me, and then he says, and if you would always try to understand my mood and assist me and cooperate with me, if you do these things, then I agree to marry you and be your husband till our last breath. Like that husband promises. These are all there in Sanskrit. Husband, wife, both, they have to make promises. So this is a marriage vow. Now in Pune court, they announced that every day 8 marriages are ending in divorce. In Pune court, they gave in the newspaper. So now the government thought, many people are now putting cases in the court saying that let us start living together in India also, like Americans are doing. Because the system of marriage is very bad. Why? Because somebody marries somebody and within 2 months there is divorce, and the husband has to give compensation, 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs and all. Poor fellow, all the life, whatever money he earned, he has to give to a woman, and then both husband and wife are having bitter quarrel on the court. It's very bad. People say, why to enter into this marriage tie at all? Better live together with somebody, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year if you like. If you don't like, leave that woman, live with another woman. They say like that. So many people now, the educated people are thinking, why don't we abolish the system of marriage? Yeah. Anybody has answer for this question to them? If they say abolish system of marriage and just live together. And they say that all the menace of all this divorce and all these proceedings can be stopped, they are saying. Anybody has answer? Yes, Mataji, give the mic to her.
There will be no protection to the children who will be born out of such relationships. Then there will be abortion and sinful activities, because the woman alone can't take care of a child on her own.
Yeah.
Then women won't be protected and everybody will be taking advantage. So she will be involved in all the sinful activities for her survival.
Yeah.
So the whole society will be getting contaminated more and more.
Exactly. It will become chaotic. And that we have already got experience in US. I heard that in US, for example, they have the habit of living together. Say a man tells a woman that I like you, you like me, come let's live together. They are living together. And the woman becomes bored with the man after 3 months. I have lived together enough now. Now another boy, I saw him, I am very happy with him. She wants to go. Will this boy be happy? Because he likes her but she doesn't like him. And she wants to live with another man. So what this boy does, he takes a gun, he shoots that boy. So you like that boy is dead now. Now you live with me only. And she gets wild, you rascal. I like that boy so much and you killed him. I don't want to live with you just because he is not there. Get out, I don't want to live with you. Oh, you don't want to live with me? I shoot you also. So yeah, these are all real stories. So you shoot him, shoot her, and the police will come behind you with a gun. And before the police catches you, shoot yourself. So he is also dead. So India also, such criminalism is going to happen and increase more and more in the time to come. You see, when there are no systems. So when there is a system of marriage, why there is problem in the modern times of divorce? Because man and woman both are very selfish and they are not God-centered. They don't have any principles. They don't have any tolerance. Marriage requires tolerance. Similarly, senior-junior relationship requires tolerance. Superior-subordinate relationship requires tolerance. Divorcing a subordinate or divorcing a superior is very easy. You divorce and you go to another place, there you will have to face another superior. Either you be a street dog or a surrendered dog. You can, and a street dog can never be happy. Similarly, one thinks I can be independent and happy. Nobody can be happy. So in this world, we need tolerance, and that's why the sacred vow is taken. And both the parties understand. Like for example, before the marriage, they have dreams. The woman has so many dreams. My husband should be like this. He should be like that. He should be earning so much money. You will have this car. You will have this type of bungalow. And so many dreams they have. Similarly, man also has so many dreams about the woman. But after marriage, when they come close to each other, they say, "Oh, you are not enough fair as I wanted you to be fair. Black, or you are too short. You should be more tall. Or you are so fat. You should be more slim." These are all unchangeable things of the material body. Yeah, and you have to live with them. And now I am telling you about physical body. You can also talk about psychological nature also. Rana Swami Maharaj was giving a lecture. He said, "Our gross body," he said, "is like this shirt, and subtle body is like underwear." He said, And then he said in the lecture, why he called subtle body as underwear. So you like a person, but not a person's underwear. He said. Similarly, he said, you may like the soul, but you will not like, the people's mentality, their. Is it not true? The way people behave with you, the interpersonal relationship. The Maharaj was quoting in one lecture like that. So we have to learn to tolerate one another. Yeah. No.
In the marriages, this time the people. Hare Krishna. Which this time what the marriages go on, it goes totally in Sanskrit, and the people who are modern, they don't know Sanskrit.
Yeah.
So the vows which are told, how they would come to know.
Now I told the meaning.
Which is the priest has a responsibility of telling the meaning.
For that they have to join ISKCON. And they can understand. That's why we have to propagate very fastly. We have to reach the people, yeah. But one thing, even the people getting married, they know Vedic literatures are like a mother. That much they know. Something wonderful we are chanting. That much they know. But if some priest can properly, scientifically explain to them, they have to be trained as proper to become proper grihasthas. Now all of you are playing the role of OC or a PM or a frontline. You have many subordinates with you, and if you cannot get along well with them, then you also have to look at yourself. How can I improve to get along well with them? What should I do so that I'll be attractive enough for him to tolerate me? We all have to think about it. If you don't think like that, the easiest thing is to say, "Hi, these guys, they like me very much, so they are my friends. And those guys, I don't like them, they don't like me. I can live without them. I don't need them." That's not a right mentality. You may say that you can round up some people as your enemies and brush them aside. And rest of the people who flatter you, you may call them your friends. And you may keep them with you. It's not very good. In the long run, what happens, those people whom we brushed aside as enemies, in the long run, they may create some bad name for you, and that may disturb your mind more. And they may create trouble for you may create trouble for them, and it becomes like an unending fight many times. That's why you'll find in Shastra, you'll find always, from my side, what can I do best to rectify the situation? We should think like that. Like I was telling about the system. The system of superior subordinate is not bad. Like one boy was telling me, "Prabhuji, why do we need all this superior subordinate? Let us make everybody equal and spontaneous. Let us not have any OC, no PM, no senior, no junior. We all can imagine we all are equal. So there will be no problem," he said. Is it a good idea? It's like saying, "Prabhuji, why to have traffic signal, putting red, green, orange, yellow and all that? Just allow all vehicles to go wherever they want to go. Let us give freedom to all vehicles." Good idea? And that's what happens in Pune, many places. When police is not there, everybody goes everywhere. You have seen that? And it's like might is right. Whichever fellow can, like that, get the vehicle and bring, that fellow goes ahead. Other fellows, he'll be looking. Why did you go like that? He'll be looking. You have seen that? Both the fellows wanted to come. Sometimes a big lorry comes like this. One car, boom, goes in between. Lorry has to stop. And the car wala is smiling and the lorry wala is angry. You seen that? Yeah. It's the might is right. Yeah. So that kind of traffic, no regulation at all in traffic is no solution. We need regulation. Similarly, we need systems. And another thing I'll complete. One more thing in India they are doing is homo. They are saying homo can marry. Two people can marry. Now they have made this homo marriages in India, like they have in the West, lesbian, gay. thing, marriage they have. Now, His Holiness Bhaktacharya Maharaj said, I heard, somebody told him that Maharaj, if two boys they are attracted to each other, or two girls are attracted to each other, let them marry. What harm are they doing to society? Let them live together happily, like that. And how can it be considered illicit sex? So Maharaj gave a beautiful explanation. He said, any sex used not for procreation is illicit sex. He defined. Now, if two boys mix together, can they produce a baby? If two girls mix together, can they produce a baby? And if a man and woman also mix, not for producing baby, for pleasure, then it is illicit sex, according to our parampara. So, he said, from that point of view, sex should be used only for procreation, and anything other than that in a perverted way, homo way or a hetero way, whatever way, they all are considered illicit sex. Beautiful explanation he gave. So, now Indian government, you go and ask, hey, why are you legalizing homo marriages? You know what they are saying? What to do? You know, many guys are raising flags, they are protesting, they say we want to marry. If you don't allow them, they will be anyway doing it. And they may be doing it for different people. Instead, better that you allow two guys to marry and live. You see, this is, in those days, when kings wanted some rules and regulations, you know what they would do? All their laws were subordinate to Shastras. They wouldn't prescribe anything. Shastras don't approve of homo marriages. Brahma in the dawn of creation saw some homos attacking him from behind. First when he saw them doing like that, he laughed. He said, hey, what are you nonsense guys doing behind like this? And then they were very serious and determined. And Brahma, when he saw that, he became frightened. And he became angry. And with folded palms, he prayed to Lord Vishnu, oh my Lord, save me from these fellows. Who are these demons? And they are the first homosexuals, created in the dawn of creation. So they are the tendency is counted amongst demons. If somebody has a homo tendency, it's counted amongst the demoniac. Just like, for example, a lusty tendency is also considered demoniac, is it not? Similarly, homo tendency is considered demoniac also. It should be given up. And we should teach people how to transcend this lower nature and experience a higher taste of Krishna consciousness rather than legalizing a lower tendency. There's no problem. Like Prabhupada says, for example, will a government legalize? If somebody asks him, sir, what's your profession? I am a thief. Will somebody say like that? No, my duty is I am a murderer. Will somebody say? Because that is not allowed by the government. Such a profession, Vishnu Chakravarti uses example. These kind of professions are not allowed by government. Similarly, legalizing homo marriages, legalizing living together, these are not allowed in Shastra, so they should be prohibited. They should not be allowed, ideally speaking. But like one homo boy, when he met me, I was telling him we should give up all these things, and I was telling him you should give up this tendency, and he was saying, Prabhuji, even Indian government has legalized it, Prabhuji. He was telling. I said, see, you are trying to justify. That goes to show you are sinful. You should not try to justify a wrong thing. When the government may do any nonsense, government is promoting liquor shops also. That doesn't mean you have to drink. I am a citizen of India, they are promoting liquor shops, every day I must drink. You don't have to go and drink. They are promoting cigarette, lottery, drink, everything, because it is Ravana government. It is not Ram Rajya. So, systems are not bad. The defects in the system may make it bad. So we have to rectify the defects and make the system foolproof and operable. Not that give up the system only, totally. Like for example, in America they say, in India children are beaten with sticks. How can you control the children like this? Now we are going to respect our children like adults. In America they have gone to other extreme. Saying like this right from childhood. If a child, any small parents scold the child, immediately cops. They call up the police immediately. So the parents are trembling in front of their children in America. Like one father was telling me, as soon as my boy becomes 7 or 8 years old, I will fly back to India for good. And I asked him why. He said, otherwise you will call the police. Once they grow up little in maturity, they start calling the police for every small thing. Teachers are wearing SOS, save our souls. If any child is showing the gun, teacher should press the SOS and call the police to save herself from the child. Because children are carrying guns there. There are panic buttons, buzzer alarms and everything in American schools. You see like that. And children are dancing on the head of the parents and teachers and everybody. And they can do whatever nonsense they want. They are begetting children. Children are begetting children in the schools at the age of 12 or 13 only. Huh? Because they have broken the system. What is the system? The parents giving training to their children. Actually, Shastra say, Prabhupada used to say, in our Gurukul we should have the stick, but never use it. Prabhupada said, only show it. Some fear should be there. Prabhupada said, my father also had a ruler in the bureau he used to give. Sometimes if I am very naughty, he would open the bureau and show, he would show the ruler. That's all, I'll become very calm. But he would never beat me with that. That is Prabhupada's formula also. Prabhupada said, you should show the ruler, show the stick. Some fear should be there for the teacher. And it is actually good. How many of you got stick beating from your teacher? Yeah? Oh, really? Well, almost everybody. Okay, let us see who didn't get. Anybody didn't get here at all, even once? Really? It's amazing. Not asking. Actually, teacher is, for some fellows, she will be beating like this. For some fellows like this. You have seen that? When you get, they will be moving their hand like this, isn't it? Other fellows will be laughing. But we will never forget it, isn't it? So, of course, in India, despite the beating of the teacher, children still love the teacher. Because teachers have trained them and grown them very big. The people became very big leaders in India, you will see. India is a land of leaders with great character in the past. Many great leaders. Now they have broken the system of, training and grooming and polishing and raising the children. They are saying, give freedom to children. Is it a good idea? Giving absolute freedom to children? That's what he is saying. The system is not bad, but the defect may be bad. Like for example, just because teacher is allowed to train a child, if a teacher starts whipping a child so much that the child's cheeks are swollen or body is swollen, he has to be admitted in the hospital, or some children are afraid of the teacher, they commit suicide, that kind of control on the children is bad. It happens, correct? With some teachers. That is very bad. But that is why, if there is a defect in the system, what should be rectified? The defect should be rectified. Similarly, caste system, is it for chaos or is it for harmony? Harmony. Then why is it leading to chaos? Because of Shringi misusing the Brahminical power. The whole thing got degraded. Now Prabhupada says, I have come to America to create Brahmanas. Which means Prabhupada is again trying to re-establish the Varnashrama system. You see? I have come to America to see Brahmanas. So Prabhupada said, there are enough Vaishyas and Shudras around the world. There is no dearth of them. Now I want to create Brahmanas and Kshatriyas. Prabhupada said. There are enough businessmen with money. There are enough Shudras who are willing to work hard, 16 hours a day. Both are available in abundance. Who is not available? Brahmanas and Kshatriyas. So you may ask, is Prabhupada going to produce some Brahmanas? No. The Brahminical nature is there, but you have to spot out and polish them, to exhibit the Brahminical qualities, which Prabhupada did. Look at Chandramouli Swami. You see, he's from America. He purchased a bunch of books, spiritual books. He read and he became a devotee. And now you see what a wonderful lecture he gave today. And Prabhupada got many men like this, and women also, men, women. He made them all perfect Brahmanas. And then he said, eventually we will have Kshatriyas also for our society. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So Prabhupada is an intelligent Acharya. He is re-establishing the system that was once broken by Shringi. Shringi broke it and Prabhupada is re-establishing. Unlike the government of India, which is saying live together, homo together, do nonsense together, anything, just to destroy all systems. That's why here he says, here, what is the heading? Identify, read that again, heading.
Identify the root cause of failure of any system, set it right rather than condemning and eliminating the system itself.
Yeah. Anybody has any other example of eliminating system and then facing a crisis? Anybody knows any example? All of you understood this point? So now all of us in our centers also, voice centers and all, for example, we have many systems and rules and regulations, right? So we can go to the extreme. For example, there is a system that, anybody who comes late in the morning should write Mahamantra. Okay, somebody came late. But, for example, if the bathrooms are not having water, or the water came at 4:15, should you still keep the punishment? No, if you keep it, it will be considered fanatical. Is it not true? Because water didn't come in time. After water came, boys took bath and came. So you have to relax the rule according to Desh Kala Patra. But if you would fanatically apply the system, then people will curse the system. They will say, hell with this, policies of voice, we have to write Mahamantra, whatever, They will say, like, people will say like that. So that's why leaders should have the maturity to know when to break a rule or, keep a rule, when to adjust the rule. These things have to be. That's why dharma is also very good, I like that. It has to be consulted. And we cannot, some people may say, Prabhuji, because boys are becoming discouraged, let us eliminate the system of transcendental punishment. Let us love and care for the boys and put them to bed till 9 o'clock in the morning. And let them just brush their teeth and go to college directly. Is that a wonderful idea? So don't destroy the systems. Yeah, system should be there. Like for example, in our temple we have 3 prominent gurus. Here we have Gopalakrishna Maharaj, Lokanath Swami and Radhanath Swami. So we're disciples of different gurus now. Now some people say don't make any guru groupism. They say. What they say in one temple I know, they say that let all gurus' disciples be under all leaders. And everyone should close their eyes and not ask who is the guru of my superior. And some people say that, and we should not consider who is under me. They say like that. But from a practical point of view, if you try to do like that, anybody, put anybody under anybody like that, it's very difficult. Like what we have done in the temple, you all know the system. All the prominent people exhibiting qualities of leaders, they can be any guru's disciple. They can be Gopalakrishna Maharaj, Radhanath Maharaj, Lokanath Maharaj, Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, Bhaktichara Swami Maharaj, Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj, Radha Govind Maharaj. Anybody. And if they show the qualities of a Vaishnava leader, they should be made leaders. You make them. And then you allow them to preach, and then they preach and they expand. And they bring many people. Many are inspired to take Diksha from their Shiksha Guru's Guru. And you inspire, allow them to take. And if some of them want to take from different gurus, you allow them to do that. So, actually the activities should be balanced. For example, all the disciples of one guru should come together. Like Vyas Puja Day, they all come together. Or they may come together with their guru for a yatra, where their guru may be the prominent person. This brings about unity of disciples of the same guru. And then all the disciples of different gurus should come on Sunday feast program and chant together, dance together, take prasadam together, irrespective of whose disciple you are. We all are Prabhupada's followers. Prabhupada is our founder Acharya. So this is called unity in diversity. Every guru emphasizes on certain things. Like His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj emphasizes on congregational preaching and propagation. Now Radhanath Swami Maharaj emphasizes on community building. Gopalakrishna Maharaj emphasizes on book distribution. Lokanath Swami emphasizes on holy name spreading around the world. So everybody has certain emphasis which the disciples will try to sincerely follow and please their guru, which is to be done surely by them. But we cannot make a flat rule that everybody should do everything. So that is why this is called unity in diversity, Prabhupada called it. That is also one system. You cannot go to only one of the extremes. It's a very good point. This is a very vital point for all leaders to learn. So, can you all give some examples of systems? One system is Varnashrama. Any other examples of systems? Like marriage is a system, you were saying. Any other examples? Joint family is also a system. Gurukula is also a system. Now, Gurukula had many problems. Does it mean that the Gurukula itself is bad? It's a system. We have to rectify the problems of the system. Yeah?
Women liberation. Women liberation system.
It's a system?
Previously it was protected afterwards.
Women liberation is not a system. That is opposition to the Shastric statement which says women should always be protected. Shastra say like a girl is protected by her father and a woman is protected by her husband, and later on she is protected by her son. So women shall always be protected. This is Shastric statement. Opposed to that is the statement that women should be given the freedom. But how that woman liberation thing came up? Because men started treating women inappropriately. Like Shastra say children should be respectful to parents, and a woman should be respectful to her husband, And the husband should be surrendered to a guru, Vaishnava guru. And guru should be surrendered to God. So God is like the engine. And the husband is like the first bogie. Then wife is second bogie. Children are third bogies, fourth bogies and all. Then the engine takes everyone to the destination. Now what happens? The husband gets disconnected from the engine first. No connection to guru. Nowadays in Kali Yuga, men are so weak-hearted. And they are mostly after money and making money and material enjoyment. So he is cut off from the guru. So he becomes a servant to his wife. You will find if one has no surrender to guru, then one becomes servant of his wife. And then wife, she is surrendered to her child. And child says, I am the king of the house. If I want anything, I will cry like that. Open my mouth big and cry, and my mother, father will provide me whatever I want. So which means it's like then the train starts going in opposite direction. Child is pulling the train, behind their mother, behind their father, everybody goes in that side. Degradation, adogati. You see? Isn't it? So this system of, woman being submissive to man would have worked very well, provided men did their duties. So I think many hands are up. I am sorry not to give you a chance. One more thing we'll finish. This one. See this point. 11. Please repeat it.
Don't commit
Read
blunders.
it.
Repent too late. Be alert always.
Again read it. Very important point.
Don't commit blunders.
And in the mic, you can read the mic, please.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Don't commit blunders and repent too late. Be alert always.
You can explain the meaning of the statement? Keshanto.
Very obvious, Prabhuji.
Very obvious, no? No, you explain the purport. You treat the translation purport. Those who are alert will understand it.
Thereafter, when the boy returned to the hermitage, he saw a snake on his father's shoulder, and out of his grief he cried very loudly. Purport: the boy was not happy because he committed a great mistake, and he wanted to be relieved of the burden on his heart by crying. So after entering the hermitage and seeing his father in that condition, he cried loudly so that he might be relieved. But it was too late. The father regretted the whole incident.
Yeah, you see. Any examples for somebody who committed a mistake, after that due to guilty feeling they cried out? Any examples? Yeah. Ajamila, very good example. He repented and he wept bitterly. Yeah. Yes, Mataji? Who? Indra? Yeah. After trying to destroy the Vajavasis, well, after Govardhanila, he cried and he surrendered. Very good. Any? Yeah. Dhruva Maharaj lamented for hankering for broken pieces of glass. Very good. Yeah. What for? After Brahma Vimohan Leela, Brahma repented. Very good. Yes. He offended Shiva and he got a goat head, and then later on he went and surrendered to Shiva and he repented. Very good. When he repented? After putting snake. He went back and he repented also. Yeah. Yes. Duasman Ambarish, no? He also regretted later on. Alas, I made a big mistake. I thought this is an ordinary fellow. Yes, Maji? Yes, that's a powerful example. Because Indra, when he offended Brihaspati disappeared. And after that he was searching for him and he lamented like anything. I made a mistake. I didn't respect my guru, Yeah. Gopachapal regretted also after offending Srivas Thakur, yeah.
Bharat Maharaj repented after this, though he had not committed any mistake. But on the
When he became a deer, he repented. Alas, I got a deer's body now. He lamented. Yes?
Indra repenting when he killed Vishwarup.
After killing Vishwarup, Indra repented also. Yes. Yeah.
But here we are saying that you are not repenting on the time. Too late.
No, too late means what? The mistake has happened already. It's like saying, the arrow that is sped from a bow, and the words that spring out of someone's mouth and the milk that is spilt on the ground cannot be recovered back. Is it not? Like if milk has got splashed on the ground, what can you do with that? Yeah? Or if the arrow has sped from the bow, you can't do anything with that. Similarly, you have spoken some harsh word to somebody and they are already crying, weeping. Now you cannot take back the word. So similarly, here is saying it was too late because he had already pronounced the curse. Now the curse is going to take effect eventually. So we gave the heading here that don't commit blunders and repent too late. Be alert always. Which means before committing blunder, like for example, I was doing some research on anger, because anger means we lose temper. And when we become angry, our intelligence says goodbye and goes away. And then we behave in certain ways, but after which, intelligence comes back and says, what a fool you are, how you acted. So, in my research, I understood one thing. Whenever we are feeling that our mind is little irritable, that means we are not very Krishna conscious. Mind is irritated, we are feeling some anger coming to the surface. We are likely that whoever comes near us at that time, and they will become the destination for our anger. Correct, no? So, what is the best thing to do? Go to some seclusion, take Bhagavatam and plunge your face into the pages of Bhagavatam. And read for 1 or 2 or 3 hours. Bhagavatam can save us from an accident. Physical accidents are safer than emotional accidents. Because physical accidents cause bruises which heal within a month or 2. But emotional accidents, people sometimes remember for life, whole life they will remember. Whenever they look at you, like that they see, with the sharp eyes, and it is very difficult. Some people, I heard Bhakti Maharaj was telling, 2 people lived in a room, almost how long they lived? 7 years they didn't speak one word to each other. He said we should give them a special medal or something. How can 2 guys live in the same room not talking to each other? It's called Cold War, you call it, no? Yeah. So, don't commit blunders and then repent too late. Be alert always. But somehow or other, if blunder has happened, what we should do? We should not feel fear to reveal it to superiors and seek forgiveness. And whatever has to be done, we should be willing to do that. After that, So, you will find here Shringi is crying. Because when do we cry like that? When we have committed a mistake. After that we cry. After we commit a mistake, we sob and we cry. Sometimes 2 people quarrel and they have a big fight. After the fight is over, a person may secretly cry. Probably I spoke too badly or something like that. Like the Shringi was crying. Read the 12th one.
Pride of position.
Repeat again.
Making mole into a mountain due to pride of position.
Yeah. Visujyatam cha prapacha vatsa kasmad dhirodishi kena vate pakritam iti ukta sanyava navyedayat. So he is saying he threw the dead snake aside and asked his son why he was crying, whether anyone had done him harm. On hearing this, the son explained to him what had happened. Purport. So there was nothing seriously wrong in Maharaj Parikshit's act, Prabhupada says. See, the father did not take that snake on his neck very seriously. Amazing, no? Which goes to show he's a very great soul also. He simply took it and he threw it away. Actually, there was nothing seriously wrong in Maharaj Parikshit's act, Prabhupada says. But the foolish son took it very seriously. And being influenced by Kali, he cursed the king and thus ended a chapter of happy history. You see? Prabhupada read such powerful sentences. Yeah. So this is called as making a mole into a mountain. Can any examples, any of you? Examples from Shastra, making mole into a mountain, yeah? That is disproportionate anger he showed, making mole into a mountain. Any other example? Somebody made a small thing into a very big thing, exaggerated it because of some envy or anger towards that person, yeah? Mantra, correct. Yeah. Mantra also cooked many crooked ideas about what all would transpire if Rama would ascend the throne. Anyone else? Yeah. Draupadi's giggling was not a very big thing, but he took that insult so seriously that he decided to vanquish the whole Pandava race. You see, making mole into a mountain. Beautiful, yeah. Parvati? Yeah, beautiful example. See, all these stories tell us that we should not giggle. Huh? Are you all giggling now? See, giggling is not wrong, but giggling at a wrong time. Huh? Giggling at a wrong time is wrong. Huh? You can giggle. See, there is time to laugh also. Huh? But you should not laugh at a wrong time. Huh? See, Rupa Goswami laughed at the wrong time, isn't it? When that limping fellow was passing by. Similarly, Chitraketu was flying in the Akash Marg surrounded by Vidyadhara women. He was chanting the holy names in a vehicle, in the top, he was flying. And then he saw Shiva was sitting and giving a lecture on Vairagya with Parvati on his lap. And he giggled and Parvati misunderstood him. And then, beautiful example. Nice, very. You all gave many examples, making mole into a mountain. Very wonderful. Any other example? Yeah, Daksha making, actually Shiva not standing up, at least he could have given a benefit of doubt. Okay, this Shiva is sitting, ask Brahmaji, why is this fellow sitting and not standing up? He is my son-in-law. Any problem, is he sleeping or is he in trance or what? He could have, see, he didn't give any benefit of doubt only. See, we commit mistakes when we don't give benefit of doubt. See, giving benefit of doubt means, you always should think that maybe, let me give some more thought to it. We should never think we know everything. To think I know everything means you think you are God. That was a mistake. Beautiful example it is. Any voice examples? You all have given so many Shastric examples. Yeah. Making mole into a mountain. Don't take any names, huh? Yeah, without names. Yeah? See, glorification when you give, you should not forget the names. And when you have to give some negative example, you should be careful to avoid names even if it's likely to slip out of your mouth. You should hold your mouth. Yeah?
Even though telling some deities many times they don't come on time for offering, like evening offering mainly. So at that time we should be considerate to change their sevas only, means.
Okay, this fellow is not a very punctual fellow. Better give him some other service. Like that, no? Yeah, so if you consider it rather than, he came 2 minutes late. Yeah, our Rupa Goswami Prabhu, if he is 2 minutes late to the altar, he will fast for the whole day. That example you can give them. Such a wonderful strict pujari, Pujaris have to be very strict. But after giving that example, you should not expect him to fast. That would be too much. But you can give that example. Yeah?
If you see some devotee taking rest in the daytime, then rather than thinking that, oh, he is a lazy fellow, we can be safer side on the safer side and assume that maybe yesterday night he went late night.
Yeah, correct. We can think like that. Yes, that's true. Thinking positively, yeah? Somebody's body was paining, was taking rest in the morning time.
So
okay?
I was not knowing what had happened earlier. In that yesterday also he was sick and today also he is sick. What is happening? So when I talked to the devotee, then I came to know that how he didn't got a vehicle and he had to walk all the way from Swargate to the Voice. So it was 7 to 8 kilometers walk.
Yeah. So often we don't know the background of a person when we pinpoint a fault. That's true. I am looking for different type of examples, not the ones which you all said now. I appreciate your examples which you said now. You are telling me example for another question which is going to come some other time in future. This example, I will tell you one example, making mole into a mountain. For example, somebody, instead of consulting you, they consulted your superior by bypassing you. And later on you came to know, they went to your superior and superior is calling you and then telling you that your subordinate came to me and I told him to do like this. Then you catch subordinate and ask him, why you bypassed me? How can I bypass me? I am your authority, And they may say, Prabhuji, I wasn't sufficiently confident that you will understand my problem. I thought it will be nice to go to some superior. So actually, even when people say like that, it is not that they hate us. It is not that they don't like us. Because sometimes they may have respect for somebody who is little above or even more above them. And when there is an access, they may take advantage. But sometimes we put them in a separate box that he doesn't like me. And we make this mole into a mountain. And in future, all opportunities when they come, we give opportunities to those who flatter us, more and more opportunities. And these type of people, we keep them. This is example. They did a small mistake. Or if you give them more trust, they may probably want to take your shelter more, eventually, rather than brushing them aside. We have to give up our false ego while dealing with juniors in such situations. This is one example I told you. And you cannot label a person to be bad for all time. You cannot put a label on his forehead, bad person. Nobody is perpetually bad or perpetually good. Even good people become bad people become good also, because everyone is changing. They're transforming. Today they have certain type of scripts, and tomorrow they may change completely. Think like that. So, and also sometimes people who make small mistakes, we record them in our head, and after 4 years we quote them. I know that you are expert in committing mistakes, and in 1996 you did this, 2001 you did that, 2006 you did. Sometimes husband wife they do that in families. They have clear records of which happened what. If only they could remember the good things they did and they would repeat them, the relationship between the spouses would increase. Is it not true? Similarly, superior subordinate also, our tendency is to very carefully remember the small mistakes committed by the other person and to keep stinging like a, what do you call it? A scorpion. But that is more into a mountain. And what happens is the trust, these are best ways to break trust more and more. This is called making mole into a mountain. Actually, if you give several evidences of bad of the other person, that's the best way to distance that person. Rather than that, we can do just the opposite. Nowadays in companies, they have a slogan. What is it? Catch the people doing right, they say. Earlier they had another slogan, do you know? Catch the people who do wrong and give them a red card. Yeah. And then now they have a new slogan. Catch people doing right and give them a yellow card. And then if I accumulate 3 yellow cards, they give them a big gift or something like that. Because if you catch a person doing right, then you are reinforcing good in that person. If you catch a person doing wrong, once, and then after catching, what you do is another thing. Actually, we should always be positive and having the hope that a person will improve. We should give that benefit of doubt. And don't, and when we correct people, the correction should be very brief. But when you glorify people, it can be larger. Like if I want to correct you, I can correct you in 1 minute. And if I want to glorify you, I can take 3 minutes. Why? Anybody can tell the reason why? Why correction should be short, glorification can be longer. Yes, Krishnapur's experience, realization of that. Bitterness should be as brief as possible. Yeah. And glorification, if you are a little long, are they going to scold you? Prabhuji, I don't have time. Are they going to say? Will anybody say they don't have time for hearing their glories? They will wait for, Brahma's whole lifespan also. But if you are correcting what generally people say, okay, Prabhuji, that's all. Anything else you want to say? I think I'm getting late for it. You've seen that, no? Some people look at the watch when you correct them. Yeah. Don't make a mole into a mountain. Try to keep it brief. Keep it as brief as. That's why we have plus, minus, plus. You all know it. Problem is now everyone knows it now. Plus, minus, plus. You tell the glories of a devotee and say, Prabhuji, what is next? What is going to come now? Then give a small minus and again give another big plus. But although everyone knows this formula, still we can apply it. And still it will be very digestible for people. Sometimes you think, everyone knows plus, minus, plus. Now let me give only minus. No. Because we all are human beings, emotional beings. So don't exaggerate. Don't make small mistakes into big. And also, now I learned a lot of things like this. For example, if a devotee has done a mistake, when you tell the mistake also, what we tell him? Anyway, Prabhu, you had too many things to do. And because of that, the small mistake happened, I think. I know that you are busy with many things. When we have to do too many things, mistakes happen. When you say like that, he feels very encouraged. But instead, if you say that, you may be busy with so many things, but how can you do this mistake, Prabhu? If you ask like that, he will say, then the mistake looks like Mount Everest for him. And all the good deeds he did, they appear like, small seed, mustard seeds. They go like that. So, don't make mole into a mountain. See, 13th lesson you read? Almost we have finished. Actually, totally how many lessons? I'll just see how many are there. I think it's over. Oh, 20 are there. No. Then we will stop with this today. Then, song is there in this only? But it's time already, 6 o'clock. So we'll ask the devotees only. Now we have touched our time, 6 o'clock. So we have two choices. We can conclude the Bhagavatam right away, immediately, or we can sing one song, Kali Yuga Pavana Kali Bhaya Nashana. How many of you ready for song? Are you ready? Okay, yeah. So 12 lessons are over. So 13 to 20, we will do it next month. What is the date next month? 10th April. Same timing. So is 3 hours too long for all of you? All right with everybody? Yeah, we can give a break in between, yeah. Yes. Maybe I think 3 we will start, and at 4:30 we will give a break for about 10 minutes, and 4:40 we can start again. All right? Next time. Somebody should remind me, otherwise I keep going. Huh? Kali kukura kadan. How do you sing this first line? Kali kukura kadan. Yadi chavo hai kali kukura kadan.